Thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I really do appreciate it. Brian, you got this fight against Tony Harrison April 17 on Fox. How does it feel just having your first fight less than 2 weeks away, your first fight in 14 months? Has it feel like it's been that long since you last fought?
Yeah, it's been a while, but it doesn't feel like it because I'm so driven. Like I'm constantly training. I'm constantly focused on learning. That's just who I am. I've come to realize, and I'm just steady training, learning, growing, submerged in the sport of boxing, sparring, and here it is. With me, it's like the more time. The time is on my hands, usually how I generally look at it, because I feel like nobody else is consistently working and focused, disciplined the way I am. So it's kind of like a little race where I'm just keep getting ahead with more time. So, yeah, it's been 14 months, but I mean, I feel like that's been a blessing for me, if anything, to give me time to learn, to grow, and kind of reorganize my career and come back a more proficient fighter.
You talk about, the changes that you've made, wanting to be a more proficient fighter. What were some of those changes that you mentioned that you've made in the last year or so since you've been in the ring?
Well, I learned a lot through my own self-research and things of that nature, and then I also ended up in Roy Jones Jr. Camp. And when I got around Roy Jones through like a sparring tour, I sparred his guys and I really impressed him and stuff, and spoke with him and he let me stay. And I was really just blown away by how much knowledge that he had. And he's always been my favorite fighter. So it's just been a huge blessing, and I'm just still here in Pensacola, training with Roy Jones, and he's my trainer now. So that's one of the biggest major things that has changed in my career, and it's just been crazy. It's like being off at a university every day. I'm learning something new. Still right now, I'm learning something new.
Yeah, well, what was the, I guess the one biggest thing or one biggest takeaway or piece of advice that you've learned from talking and being around Roy?
Well, mainly just using my brain, being a smart fighter. I've always been a very physical fighter, very strong, had skill, but my thought process has really changed. I've kind of adopted a lot of his philosophies and his thought process on it. I mean, he's like Mr. Miyagi. He's just passing down all these things to me, and it's really amazing the depth of knowledge and the skills. And there's just so much more to this game than I ever imagined. So really, he just upgraded my brain. Created a better fighter jet pilot to operate in.
With this fight being at 154 pounds, you usually been throughout most of your career at welterweight. Was it a decision for this fight alone to go at it at 154 pounds, or is this the start of a career move to junior middleweight on a more permanent basis?
Yeah, this is the start of a career move. I made the decision after the last fight. I believe it was time to make that change. It's more natural for me in my body frame, my size. I'm not depleting myself or dehydrating myself too much for this, and I believe it's a very smart move to make, and I think this is going to be my niche. This is going to be my spot where I'm going to really blossom in my career.
Obviously with your last fight being the Abel Ramos loss, how tough was it for you to sort of sit through this entire pandemic and sort of have that fight be the last thing that people remember about you inside the ring?
Well, of course, losses suck. I mean, initially it really was tough, but, and then the pandemic came around, but I was locked in the gym. I was living in the gym for years, so I was just locked up in the gym. I'm like, all right, well, I can't just accept failure. I can't take no as the way I am. I have to come back, and I have to come back better than ever. So I was just locked up, and I was training, and I was watching videos, and I was reading, and I was learning, and growing, and practicing it. These things I was learning, and different methods, and it was really a blessing because I grew so much from it, and that's really what started the spark of venturing off and getting more sparring on the quest for knowledge, and that's what ended me up in the Roy Jones situation. So, I mean, at first it hurt, but then after that, I went right back to work. So, it can't really, it's hard to dwell on the bad things that happen when you're just locked in and focused on what's ahead. So, I think it was okay.
Tony recently was talking on the PBC podcast saying, both of us are coming off big layoffs. It'll be a great showing. I think you can expect fireworks with this fight. Do you sort of agree with that statement? Are we expecting fireworks come April 17th?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to definitely be fireworks. It's going to be a great showing. He's a great fighter. I'm a great fighter. It's going to be interesting clash of styles as well. I don't think he's ever fought anyone like me, and I don't think I ever fought anyone like him. So it's going to be real interesting to see how it plays out. And I know he's going to be looking to adapt to whatever happens and adjust, and I'm going to be doing the same. But at the end of the day, I have a tremendous will to win, and I'll do whatever it takes. I'll go through all the options to the bitter end to pull out that win. And if I can secure a knockout, I would love that. If not, I'll take a win. Either way, I see it with my hand being raised.
One thing that I love about you, and before I let you go, I have to ask about this, is the different outfits that you bring to your ring. You're by far the most stylish fighter whenever you enter the ring. I wanted to know, where did the idea to sort of come into the ring wearing these nice little suits come from?
Man, it just kind of happened. It was like one thing led to the next. First I had the nickname Goodfella. That came through. I was like, all right, Goodfella Perrella, da-da-da. And then, like, Roy Jones, he's my favorite fighter. And back in his prime for a few fights, he had like a nice little suit type situation. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was kind of like, used that and added it. And then I added my fedora, and it just kind of fit perfectly with the Goodfella and what I represent, and going to the ring to handle business. It's not personal, it's just business. And, I'm showing up to the office. It's time to put in work. And it just kind of came through. It just happened that way. And also, I have my Italian roots as well. So shout out to the Italian community. And I just wanted to represent, man. I thought it was a perfect fit, and it was really cool, and it was a hit, so it worked out.
Should we expect the return of the suits come April 17th?
You already know. Coming back with a suit and tie ready to take care of business.
Awesome stuff. Bryant, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. Best of luck on your fight against Tony Harrison, April 17 on Fox. Looking forward to seeing you and the suit back in the ring.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you.